WSU student Jay Sawney got told this for wearing a hat.
And then he turned around and then he said to me, go get it, bitch, f*** you.
The conservative figure on campus had his hat stolen and thrown into the street. It had the words, "Take America Back, Trump 2024.
He grabbed my chest, slammed it on this concrete, and then he also grabbed my head, and then he also slammed it on the concrete as well.
He had previous interaction with Jackson Mahoney, the WSU grad student who threw him to the ground in political debates during club activities. But this is the first time it had come to violence. He says it has no place in today's world.
It is distasteful and distasteful, horrid, as well as disgusting. If we don't solve that together as a country, I think like you see, this country could be gone within like the next probably 10, 15 years.
And that's what Washington State University has been highlighting, or at least what seems to be more lately than ever. At the recent political event where Charlie Kirk, a conservative commentator, appeared, this sign was displayed, along with over 4 sets of both Pullman and WSU police officers. Emails like this one were sent out to WSU students with a link to this website showcasing freedom of speech outlines, warning emails from WSU and the Office of the President about political demonstrations on campus or federal changes have been consistent as well, more so than years before.
I see it all the time on the mall when I'm walking to class, both sides, doesn't matter who it is, but I'm seeing more and more events happen, more and more just opportunities for people to talk about politics in general.
So is WSU more politically sensitive? Is there more communication from leadership? One student seems to think so.
Through the WSU database, I get a bunch of emails, but definitely more including politics than, campus events, sports, anything like educational-wise.
So WSU students are saying yes, and political activity here on the Glensboro Mall certainly indicates so as well. But spokesperson for WSU, Phil Weiler, says that it's merely due to an unprecedented amount of federal orders and federal actions.
The number and the speed at which things are changing, and a lot of these changes have impacts on students as well. And so it's not that there's a concerted effort on our part to ramp up communications, as opposed to, I think the need has increased.
President Trump has signed 130 executive orders so far in his second term, the most by any president ever in his first 90 days.
And many of those have either direct or indirect impacts on how universities function. And so it's been really important for us to make sure we keep a close eye on what those changes are, what that means to the to Washington State University.
Which is why WSU made a team, a kind of preemptive task force, one that wasn't there before.
The team is new as of the change in presidential administrations.
They monitor things like those executive orders so that WSU can stay on top of and communicate both to its staff and to the student population. Weiler says that while leadership is communicating more, that doesn't mean that protests and demonstrations are unwelcome.
Universities in particular are places where we should and must be able to debate viewpoints that we disagree with. That's how we learn. That's how we challenge ourselves and what we think. That's how we as a society get to a place where we can live and work and coexist with each other.
So in a town where federal actions have a local effect, students are taking notice. In Pullman, Cooper Morgan, Murrow News 8.